Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you guys probably know, I haven't been posting anything recently. This is a video that I kind of agreed to do quite some time back, so I'm finally getting around to doing it. Yeah, this is the latest in the Can You Guess Which Is Real and Which Is Fake series. So let's get on with that. Okay, so can you guess which is real and which is fake? If any of you have seen the previous video, you probably already know which is real and which is fake. But for those of you who are new here, the real one is the white one and the fake one is the gray one. So in the last video, I did another Lady Dior mini fake versus real comparison. So this is actually the second one in the Lady Dior mini bag series. They didn't have white in this case. I think they ran out, so I took the gray instead. Comparison wise to the previous video's fake, I would say that this one over here is actually a lot better. The biggest improvement definitely is in the interior of the bag. The truth is, between these two, the real versus the fake, exterior wise in terms of the leather and interior wise in terms of the workmanship, they are actually on equal terms. Yeah, there isn't a lot of differences to point out, to be frank, which is amazing. But there is one area which I think perhaps all the Lady Dior fakes have not managed to fully replicate, because I also had the same issue in the previous Lady Dior fake by the other brand, but that one had a lot of other issues as well. For this current fake one, this is the only issue that I find. So if you look at the Lady Dior tag, as I mentioned previously, the real one is very, very tight. It's actually really hard to shift around. You can even kind of clip your twilly or whatever you call the handle protector underneath here, and it stays because it's really, really tight. Because it's so tight, it presses this part against the bag, which means that these alphabets don't tend to move so much. Okay, they still move, but not as badly. They don't really get out of order so often, so it says Dior instead of, I don't know, Doi. Either way, this is part of the real Lady Dior design. But for a lot of the fakes, including this one, the issue is that it's very loose, so it's not tightly held enough, because yeah, it's just, yeah, and now you can see it. It's quite loose. Because it's loose over here, this one moves much more easily, and it doesn't press the clips against the bag. So because it doesn't press it against the bag, the alphabets kind of can get jumbled a lot more, as you can see here. Of course, if you kind of like just hit it lightly, it doesn't. So how big of a problem is this? I'm not very sure. It depends on you and your preference. Okay. Yeah. So how much an issue this is depends on you and your preference, and whether you intend to jangle the bag around like that. See the real one. It's still Dior. So this is the biggest issue that I find. In fact, this is the only issue that I find problematic with this bag. Otherwise, they have actually done a very, very, very good job. The handles are very, very nicely done. Unlike the previous fake, the sloping for this versus the real one is actually very, very similar. Material wise, you can't feel it, but I can, and it feels the same. It feels exactly the same, to be quite frank. The interior, the flap is really nicely done, perhaps even nicer than the real one. If you notice, the real one had some wrinkles. This one doesn't. And the interior is nicely lined, very neat. The logo is not slanted, unlike the previous fake, which I just find such a ridiculous mistake to make. Yeah. So overall, this is actually a pretty good Lady Dior fake. The only thing to take note of is the logo. If that bothers you, then I have not found a better fake. So you might have to really buy the real one. Yeah, but if this doesn't bother you, then actually go for it. I find this a pretty good fake. Oh yes, one other thing, the strap. If you guys notice, I did notice that the kind of the metal glued to the leather part isn't perfectly centered all the way. I think this is a really minor issue. It doesn't really bother me that much. If it really bothered you, you could probably... Okay, it's not glued, it's actually sewn on. So if it really bothered you, you could probably actually adjust it a little bit yourself. Just change the stitching or just tighten the stitching so it kind of holds it a little bit more to the center. Yeah, but otherwise, pretty good. The hardware is good. The color is exactly the same. The shade of gold is spot on, so no fears over there. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this fake. I might actually use it. So that's saying something. When a fake actually starts being used by me, then it's generally not too bad. So we've come to the end of this very short video. There isn't that much to criticize this time round, hence how short it is. But I hope it was useful for you guys. If you are keen to get the bag, the link to purchase is in the description below. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below. And it's been really nice running this channel. You guys may not see another video from me for a pretty long time, mainly because I don't think I have any other bags I want to purchase. So this will probably be it for quite a while. But feel free to leave a comment or contact me through email. If I see it, I will answer. The problem is sometimes I don't always see the email. Try again. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.
The CC itself. So the distance between here and here is the same as the distance between here and here, which is the same as the distance between here and here. Now let's look at the fake. They tried to copy it by putting the CCs in here. The distance isn't right. This is much skinnier than what the distance is inside here. If you look at the stamp, you're also going to notice that it's not done quite as well. Look at the Chanel stamp here. It's just not right. I mean, some of it is that you need to know what the Chanel stamp looks like, and you can see here that the distance for the Chanel is different than this Chanel over here. A lot of people think that if you see on the inside of the bag the Chanel hologram, that means automatically you have a real bag. Unfortunately, this one does have its hologram, and it not only has that, it has a card to match. This bag does have its hologram, because it is real. It does not have its card, but that doesn't mean it's a fake. You really need to know what you're looking for when you're looking at the hologram. The two holograms just have a different feel. This one actually isn't.
The last thing that I wanted to mention are the dust bags. Now, up until a few years ago, the Hermes dust bags used to be orange. The most recent ones are now this color. This is the real dust bag, and this is the fake. And although the fabric and the pattern looks very similar, once you actually hold it in your hand, you'll notice that the real one is heavier, it's thicker, whereas the fake one is actually much thinner, it's smoother, and it's quite limp. If we take a closer look at the logos here, the real one, first of all, has a double circle on the outside. And when you look at the finer details, you'll notice that the font for the H is different. Also, the circle surrounding the H is different as well.
I don't remember what the Ravello retailed at, but I've seen them from about $400 to $600 on the secondhand market, and sometimes up to $800, but nothing near the $1,200 price point of a secondhand favorite MM. These are pretty comparable in size. The Ravello fits more and is more secure. The favorite, I think, looks a little more sleek. I like the look of this better, but this bag is just as good if you decide to find one on the secondhand market. So in conclusion, if you can't get your hands on the favorite, or if you've had the favorite and you decided you couldn't use it because it was not for you or it just wasn't secure enough for you, I think the Ravello is a great alternative.